part 4, my life story. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe if you can. So, where we left off, I had a broken arm that I dealt with for basically a whole year. That it really took me out of where I was and gave me a different way of living just on the pure fact of being lazy. Like, I have nobody to blame but myself for that. But, like, I just was focused on other things that I probably shouldn't have been focused on at the time. So I'll just breeze through some of it real quick just for the sake of time. And I have some of these stories already told on my channel that you can find. But I had a detective come talk to me when I was in 7th grade after I'd gotten the cast off. Um, I got suspended. Um, they rounded up me and all my friends and told us that we were the worst kids to ever come by, and they had never seen like a class of kids come where the cops had to come so many times and everything. And all they did was give us chocolate and tell us to be on our way. Like, it was very confusing. But like, and the main thing was, in that summertime, I happened to start selling weed. And that was just through a fluke that, like I said, I've told these on my other channel, but it was just my friend got my skateboard lost, and to pay me back, I became like a runner for him, and I just kept the money, and he would break me off a percentage, and I did that so much to the point where like I could have bought a couple skateboards, but I liked the way that that felt better. So I started like going more into that world. So I can still remember getting taught how to smoke weed by people that were older brothers. Like, I had very bad uh, influences, not from my older brother. My older brother was like a smart kid and all that, and very like goody two shoes like. But like, I had a couple friends that just had brothers that were very close, like not close in our age, but they had a couple years where they were a lot more experienced than us, and were very similar in the way that we lived our lives, so to speak. So we always had some kind of influence like that. And plus, when I skateboarded, like, one of the brothers I'm talking about was like 10 years older than me, and I was skating with them when I was like 15. So cigarettes and alcohol and all that, that was never an issue, like, at all. And unfortunately, I just like fell more and more into that role. And at the time, people are saying, you're never going to amount to shit. And, I got put into a special needs class that tells you like how to take notes. Like, you literally take notes on taking notes. And I'm not trying to put down special needs or anything, but like we would read like the 7 successful traits of teenagers and like other stuff like that. But it was really just a class of like my homies, that it was kind of more just like the fuck ups, if you will, like just the people that didn't do well. So it wasn't meant to say that you had something wrong with you. It was just the kids that were kind of like failing stuff. So that actually happened to me at high school, but we'll get there when we get there. So um, another thing that happened was I had to show my homework to the principal because we got caught throwing a bunch of stuff at a specific girl for a certain reason, and that was definitely some bullshit. That they tried to take away my 8th grade dance and uh, walking and the whole ceremony and all that. I had to show my homework to like the principal every day for 2 weeks, and that was some bullshit. So really, that's why I was telling you, like, it all went downhill from like almost the moment that I broke my arm. But like, I definitely didn't do myself any favors by getting more and more entrenched into like what was going on. So really, that was really how 8th grade came to an end, in middle school and all that. And of course, I was in summer school every year. Like I was in summer school for sixth to seventh, seventh to eighth, eighth to ninth, like literally every year until you're about to be a senior. So that was just a part of my normal schedule. So that was when a lot of things happened. Like the first time I ever smoked weed was when we ditched summer school back in like seventh grade or whatever. So there was a lot of stuff that would go down. I've been kicked out of summer schools, like literally like told by the principal, like you're done with summer school. Like I got caught smoking a cigarette right outside of Paris, which was some school I'd never even been to, but it was for summer school, whatever. Um, but I can get more into detail another time with that. So really, that was just barely squeaking by. Like summer school happened, and it was supposed to be like kind of helpful because you would see like the layout of the high school because that's where the summer school was. And I remember going there, and like all my homies were there, and I didn't even get credit for any of that shit. Like I would show up, but I would show up more as a social thing just to like see the homies and stuff like that. But like I literally got told like if you miss one more time, you're not going to get any credit for this. And it just so happens that that day my girlfriend at the time got in a fight with like her dad, and she showed up and was like all mad, and she was like, I just want to go. And then I was like, all right. And we just went to my house and got some weed and ended up like smoking or something. But like, that's how like spontaneously stupid I was back then of just like, oh, whatever. Because the way I saw it was I'm not getting credit for that anyways. So that whole summer, like, it was just delving more and more into the underground scene. I had a friend who was 16 and he had a car and stuff, and it was said that he was 18 so he could go to like the medical marijuana shops. So that afforded us like a hustle where we could get together and we could try to find enough people who wanted this, that, this, that, this, that, and then we could usually squeeze something out of it to get for ourselves. But we still got everybody what they wanted. Like no one was getting jacked or anything, so it wasn't. I didn't see it as that bad of a thing, you know. But we just had that access since he had the car, and I don't even know how that happened. It doesn't sound like it's legal, but I'm not even joking. He was 16 years old, going into the weed shop, and I think the system said he was 18 because his dad signed something about it. But that's I can get into that another time. So that was kind of like what we did. We just tried to go around and find places that are people that, you know, needed herb throughout the day, and then we'd go and like I already had that kind of reputation, I guess, cuz I started selling in like 7th grade. So like people who would hate on me in middle school like as soon as high school came around and they wanted to act all cool and shit, then they were like, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? And the funniest thing is there were people that would buy weed off me, and then they would try to like smoke girls out to like be like cool, like they're the plug or whatever. But the girl would end up getting the weed, and like maybe they'd smoke and he would give her the rest of it, and she would show up to me later and she would have my weed in the bag that I sold to that kid. So this fool was just buying weed off me to sell to, like, he was just reimbursing himself with the money he was getting from the girls, acting like he was the plug. That shit, he was foreign, so I let that slide, but that's like not cool, you know. But it was kind of laughable of just like, man, like really. So, I mean, there's probably a lot that I missed, but I just wanted, for the sake of time, to just give you some bullet points of how things were going down. There's a lot more to come, best believe. I haven't even got kicked out of my first high school yet, and I get kicked out of more than one, so that's a little teaser for you right there. Um, if you have been watching this, I appreciate you. If you're new, thank you for coming. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. I couldn't do this without you guys watching, even if it's just a couple people here and there. It really means a lot to me. So I hope you guys have a good night, and peace.